What's up, YouTube? I just wanted to do a quick update on my projects since I recently picked up some supplies that I think will get me back into my Jordan 12 and 13 projects here. When we last left off, I had sauced the outsoles on both the 12 and the 13 here, and then I'd let the project sit for a while, and some other stuff came up and I didn't really have time for them. So as you can see on the 12 here, it started off really white, but the whole thing is yellowed up again. Pretty yellow. You can see the leather's white there, and the outsole itself is pretty yellow. And then the 13s didn't yellow up quite as much, but they're still, yellowed up a little bit. Anyway, I was at the store last night, and I decided to try to paint. So I picked up some of this. This is just craft acrylic. I did some digging on Soul Collector forums and stuff about doing customs. People recommended either acrylic or oil based for outsoles, so it'll move with the rubber. I initially wanted to do Angelus paints because I was going to repaint the leather here on the 12s. We got some cracking going on here, so I wanted to paint over that. So in starting to paint the outsoles, I've learned a couple things, but I'll hit on that later. So this is what I picked up. It was 79 cents at the store. It's just regular white craft acrylic. It says on here, I don't know if you can see. Yeah, see, it's water-based, fast drying, it says. And it says use in general arts and crafts. So I figured, I'd give it a shot. Everyone's recommending acrylic, so I give it a shot and see if it'll stick to the rubber. I also picked up a set of cheap brushes here. It's just this little starter set. I mainly got after it for these two. I think they're called filberts when they're dry. I just finished using them, so they're pretty fine tip. I used the fine tip one for going around the edges or where there's pretty close to leather, and this one for filling in the major parts. Nothing special. You just dip the brush in the paint and go at it. And I want to show you my results. You guys probably seen it already floating in the background. This is the yellow that is just kind of there, and this is the pod that I've actually painted over. This took me maybe 5 minutes. You can't really tell in the detailing here. It goes on pretty thick, so I tried to go over it a couple times to try to get that texture to come back, because these pods are textured. You can still see some of the yellow poking through, so I'll probably go over it again when it dries. But as you can see, it's like a huge difference, night and day between. Let me get in the sun. You can't really tell in the sun, but it's night and day between what the pod used to be. So I'm gonna do all the outsole pods on this and see where we're at. Again, I was gonna try to use Angelus paints, but I don't think Angelus paints will flex with the rubber, and I don't want it to chip and have me have to redo it like every few months. If that comes out well, I'm gonna get ambitious and do the entire outsole on these. I don't think I'll be wearing these, quite honestly. I'm just gonna be restoring them. The one thing I did learn about using paint is I don't know if you can tell, but the tumbling on the leather there, I'm probably gonna lose if I go over it with paint. Especially down in here, it's lost some of the tumbled effect to it. It's still pretty rough around here, so that might come through. So I'm slightly worried about that. Maybe I can water down the paint a little bit so it stains and colors without losing the texture underneath it. But that's a quick update on the project. This pod took me maybe 5 minutes, so 5, 10, 15, 20, maybe like half an hour a shoe, take like an hour. I'll probably try to hit this tonight after work. But again, I just took the very fine point brush and I went around the very edges of the pod. I tried to get as close as I could to the suede on the bottom. It's not perfect, but on feet you're never going to be able to tell. So even this far, and that's at arm's length, it's really hard to tell that it's not absolutely perfect. And then I just used the wider brush to shade everything in. I guess if I could give you a tip, you kind of hold the brush so that it makes a point and kind of drag it along to make a line, or you turn it sideways and put it down. See, so it makes kind of a, I don't know, like a pointed but still kind of flat on the sides, and that kind of fills in and it gives you a precise tip to shade with. So that's the update on the projects. I know it's been a while. Thanks for hanging with me. Thanks for all the new people subscribing. Go out, get some paint, see what you can do. It's always worth it bringing old shoes back, even just to have, you know, that OG tag means so much. Take it easy, guys. Watch for the next update.